It was on the whole time. Okay. Then. Clear, clear. Just a moment. Let it. The heck? I'm trying to use a swipe style keyboard. It's really just a Samsung keyboard, but it sucks. Yeah, you better stay away from him. That's the line. Werewolves of London. I was trying to find a line, and then I, um, I did a search for the line, and then Brave Search AI Assistant came up with the line, and then I said, "What's the line preceding it?" And then, of course, the part he's a hairy-handed gent, and then something else. It totally wasn't exactly what the line is. The line is, "You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I'd like to meet his tailor, you know." But anyways, that doesn't really matter. I'm just sorry. I'm just not with it today, unfortunately. So I'm using the Chat GPT currently to help with this coding, and I'm not actually letting him do it. I'm not telling it to do it. I'm coming up with the right thing here. Try to access the rooms list so you can look up the destination room and grab. Okay. So in actuality, I'm going to be at the beginning, like when I load my rooms. It's going to be after all the rooms are loaded though, but and after all the inbounds are built and everything, it's all the data is there. So when I create it, when I okay, so when I call the initialization function, um, I guess is where I should actually have the rooms list. I should have a handle to the rooms list basically. It's now ready to continue. Pass the rooms list on the update lines. Add a second argument. Uh, be a part of the class already has access to the rooms list, for example. Yes. If the layout room is a reference to its parent, you can do. Good. It's probably best if I create a boolean variable and pass it to and set that rooms list in the initialize function init lines. Catch and reference. The old catch the reference for later use play, right? Let's see. Do I need to create an empty dictionary or just I think everything is passed by reference, is it not? Yeah, I've heard the term mutating before, and as far as I know, I won't be changing anything in the list. I mean, I suppose one could accidentally do so. I'm only reading it. In fact, is there a way to make a variable read only in GD script? There's nuance, even if you do this. The ribs immutable, not the contents. Still mutate my data. How do you protect yourself from accidental mutation? Stick to your code discipline. If you only use a reference for reading and don't write to it, you're safe, as long as you resist the darker rich statements. Yeah. It's still good if you need to protect data. Suspect your code or others might accidentally change the data, you can create a deep copy. And read from safe copy. Sleep well knowing no rooms were harmed. You could wrap get room position in your class that uses all rooms and just never expose the dictionary directly. It makes it harder to mutate by accident. Yeah, and could do an access function of some sort. Hmm. Um, let's see some here. Do I want to worry about it? Because I don't expect to actually change anything in the rooms list. List of rooms. Okay. I don't know if it's strictly necessary. Do I need to do it strictly necessary? I mean, could. I could do this as a practice too, I guess. I mean, it's not strictly necessary. All it means is I make sure that whenever I access it, I'm using the function that I created for it. Using tools like Signal AutoPick, sometimes relies on function name for younger. Uh, how do you set up read-only access? Um, Stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I'd like to meet his tailor. Ooh, werewolves of London. Hmm. Um, okay. Um, think I think you do read-only access by making it a getter. Make a real variable private with an underscore. Read-only getter. Right. So mutate if it's not deeply cloned. Return a copy. To completely prevent accidental mutations, return a copy of the list. For a deep copy. Okay. Yeah. These are property. This is Godot 4.x's fancy way of combining getters with variable syntax. Yeah. You make it a property. Um, a property. That's right. I remember. Yeah, I used it somewhere in my code. Okay. Let me actually go to my own code. Actually, no, let's go in the room. Let's go to room, I guess. There we go. Oh, hmm. See something here. Does a getter getter need to be an exported variable? Okay, that makes sense. I was just checking and making sure. I have to set it as a. The other thing I could do is, since I'm going to be skiing individual rooms, I could return a copy of a single room or a layout room. They'll be layout rooms. They won't be rooms. I think. Property getter means I'm only reading. Okay, so let's okay, fine. I can I can do it either way. Um okay, so I can do getters. Um Another way is just, let's see, to write a function that gives me a specific room, give me ID. It's essentially just an access function, and since I only need a single room per uh, hey Rook, welcome welcome to the stream. Oh, it's having trouble. Why is it having trouble? I don't know. Okay. So I could alternatively create a function to return a single room given the ID. Of course, if I need to iterate through all of them, that would be practical. You're going to be iterating. The list of rooms is already a dictionary. I'll just make my class variable use a getter, and that should be access it like the original list. I think that's what I'll go with. Okay, so back here. Room list reference. Let's see some here. Colon set. It'd probably be colon dictionary, right? Dictionary colon get and equals, and actually let's do this like this. Colon get equals actually what am I tapping through? Interesting. Okay, so function set ID. Get rooms. Let's get rooms. Func. Get rooms. Actually, func. Uh, order something. Turn list reference. No, needs to be func. Oh, okay, so we'll do it like this. I don't want it as a reference anyways. Equals func. How do I inline a function in script? I probably got it somewhere. Yeah, that's what I mean. Func. Yeah. Get. Wait a second. How's it going this? It's colon dictionary colon get equals. I don't know if I can do this, but maybe. Return room list. No, that doesn't work. See. Return room list. It still doesn't work though, does it? Okay, let me inline functions in GD script. They don't have an inline keyword, I know that, but it's the same. Well, here, I guess. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can. lambda function, right? Dictionary. Oh wait, it's like okay. That's not how it works either. Uh, how do I return a value of a um function? Either return statement like a regular function. My lambda equals func x colon return. Um, so that returns value of variables from the surrounding scope. Hmm. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can't. Hmm. Not exactly what I meant. I can make a variable a property, making it either a setter or a getter. Like so, var var get equals get var get equals my var. We'll just do it like this. Var my var colon get equals my var, then shift enter. Then I say func get my var return my and it makes it a getter property. Well, instead of creating func get my, can I just turn the getter itself into a lambda? Lambda with the LAMB? Yeah. Lambda. Cannot currently allow lambda functions to be used directly in a get or set property syntax. Not supported. Expected and set keywords refer to named function identifiers, not expressions or inline function definitions. So this syntax is valid, but replacing my var with inline func not allowed in the current version of GDScript as of 4.x. Use a name function, get my var. Yeah. Okay. 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 And property declaration. It's a simple. Oh, no. Good. Okay, just getting a opinion because Brave Leo also said I can't do that. Okay. Okay, makes sense. Well, making it a property gives it some protection because because AIK it won't set the property. There's no setter function, correct? You only define a getter, and trying to assign that property will throw an error. Just effectively read only perfect protect data. That's really all I was looking for. And honestly, I didn't need to do all of this junk at all, but we're gonna. That's how I'm gonna do it. Get equals and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna say we're gonna do func. Okay, colon set equals. Okay. Uh, uh, oh, function. I see. Get room list. Okay, function get room list colon return room list. $42. Oh, yeah. This has. Okay, this is it. All right. So in the init lines, it's got room list, and all we're gonna say is, oh, I can't do it then, can I? Hmm. Interesting. I couldn't do. Could I do that? Room list equals room list. It wouldn't work because. Wait, can I still access it? Let's do something here. Let's go ahead and. Yes. Okay. I shouldn't be able to do this though. Okay, so let's do something here. That shouldn't be valid, right? Because should only allow you to get it, right? Declarations. The backing variable from the property like this. Oh. Okay. Okay, right. Here, let me fix it. Oh, that's right. That's right. Room list, dictionary, get room list. That's not what we want. We want that. Okay. Now, var, what am I calling it? Room list. Like that. And honestly, let's call this list of rooms. Rooms. And then we can say this is rooms. So that that will be that. And then room list here by itself is the thing that's actually going to have the getter on. Okay. On dictionary. On get room list. You get room list. Get equals get room list. And then this is going to return. This is going to return the actual. So this should be fine. Room list is your private storage, can be assigned internally. Room list is a read-only property exposing room list via the getter. Init line sets room list internally. This pattern keeps outside code from accidentally changing your room list while you're letting your class manage it safely. You can suggest a slightly cleaner thing. Write that in GDScript using shorthand getter syntax. Room list dictionary. Okay, got it. Read only property using shorthand getter syntax. That doesn't work. I've tried. I think I've. Okay, so I can. Here, I'll try this. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work though, but we'll see because. Okay, let's just go ahead and we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna put this in here. Oh. Oh. Oops. That. Okay. Let's see here. Getter syntax. GDScript. Go and get second involves using the get keyword. Operators. There we go. And this, I don't know if this is this the 4.4? Okay, that's fine. Even though it's 4.3, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay. Getters and setters. Let's see. Okay, var milliseconds seconds equals get colon return set value. Okay. I saw this and confused it with earlier versions of the script when they were using whatever set get set or set or whatever it was using. I didn't think you could do that shorthand method. It's definitely cleaner. Okay. Should be able to do this on online, I think. So let's try it. Okay, that's a problem. That's okay because all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check to see if no. Go to indented block, huh? And I'll go ahead and it's all right. A little bit of a more of a shorthand notation. Too bad it can't go on a single line. Must be indented. Apparently. Mandatory G's looking for list property blocks. I don't really like notation. I also can't format it like I like to, like on C. I prefer having for end of line markers and for something else to identify code blocks. This indentation thing is sort of a pain, makes it hard to read. They'll get indentation drives next and feel like the universe forcing you to be neat when you're more of a code your way kind of cowboy. It's all about indentation, no curly braces, no semicolons. The upside, less visual color. The downside, you gotta trust your tabs and spaces like Sheriff trusts the Six Shooter. If you want, I can help with ways to improve readability inside these constraints, like consists of indentation types, comments, and visual spacing to get structured but easy on the eyes look. Maybe whip a little script. Yeah. I tend to actually add parentheses to if statements. because it lets you, but it doesn't for loops. And I also make into comments so it like looks like and so that I can position it and it makes it easier for me to read longer blocks. Mm. Yeah. Um, maybe. Maybe, but I'm sort of busy right now, so we'll have to see later. Yeah, because it's you know, I mean, I get it. I mean, if especially if you know Python real well, then GDScript is going to be a cinch too. But but I think it's kind of a pain in the butt. You know, I like the old Pascal way myself. I like the begin and end. I like the fact that procedures and functions describe two different methods of executing commands. Now, you could say it's not strictly necessary, and really that's for beginners or for, younger people, kids maybe, that need something explicit. I still liked the explicit nature of begin and end, and the fact that procedures were ones where it executed sets of commands without returning anything, and a function was something that actually returned a value. I mean, I like that fact. It kind of made sense. Although function function is kind of a generic term though, so a function doesn't really give you doesn't really indicate that it returns something, right? But anyways, you could differentiate. But most everything was a procedure unless you had to return a value, then it was function, right? You have begin and end. And I also like the deal about the equals. The colon equals. It looks like a well, honestly, if you wanted to do it like say a funnel, a funnel is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. And so, if you wanted to do it logically, Pascal would have did it the other way. The colon would be on the right side, the equals would be on the left side, so that when you're assigning a value, you're assigning from the right to the left. But colon equals still makes sense to me as far as compared to just a straight up equals. When I switched to C and you had to do the double equals, it was annoying because I forgot and I had to do it every single stupid time. It would always complain, or whatever. Or that's not right. You could mess up your code. You put equals and equals would be the comparison. Single equals would be the assignment, right? So I mean that sort of makes sense, but then when we're trying to compare and you just said equals because you're used to it, then it kind of made it a pain to switch from one to the other. The colon equals made it the colon equals versus equals made it more what the way you think about it. In other words, you're saying assign this, make it equivalent, so with colon equals, and then comparison with equals. It's like, if whatever equals whatever. To me it made more sense. And then I came to C and it was like equals and equals equals, and you're like, huh? And tripped you up. But I mean, I still kind of preferred the Pascal way. But if you're streamlining some things, begin and end might still be there, but maybe instead of colon equals, it'll be equals colon, because the wide end is where you're putting something, always what you're putting something into. So it would actually make sense if it was equals colon, and that the thing on the right of the equals goes in, unless you're doing it logical left to right, in which case colon equals, but what you're doing is you're putting what's on the left side into what's in the right side. And that would kind of make sense too. I mean, it would be illogical from somebody that came from whatever, go, why does it do it this way? But if you think it through, if you think of it like a funnel, then it would make more sense. In fact, always too, when you first start programming and you have the assignment operator, you have the assignment. It doesn't matter if it's equals, colon equals, whatever. It doesn't matter what the characters are. Um, but in your mind, it still doesn't make logical sense to a layman why when you're trying to put something into something else, why you're assigning something on the right to something on the left instead of vice versa. Especially in Western country. I'm in a Western country. I read from left to right. I don't read right to left. So left to right, then my code should be left to right. In other words, I should go in and say, okay, A, I want to assign A to B. In other words, I want B to equal what A is. So what do? If I'm doing it, um, okay, so let's decide I'm using this equal straight equals, uh, A equals B. Well, okay, so but then that in your mind kind of goes, no, that's math, right? So if you're saying A equals B, huh, I don't know. I guess maybe the way they have it is the right way. I mean, people are smarter than me, so I'm just thinking dumb stuff. But if I'm reading left to right, I want I want to assign A to B. So I do B equals A. In other words, A goes into B. Oh, okay. Anyways, whatever. I'm just rambling. Apologies. Okay, so that's good. So now I can just access room list, and then this of course sets room lists. So that way, now there is a mutable thing as long as I don't use the underscore. I use the regular one. The regular one is just a getter. That ways. Okay, so let's go back to this. Now, end position equals. Okay, start position is the room's position. End position is the destination ID. Door.destination. Okay. We're gonna do one more thing here. In fact, I'm gonna do it up at the top. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I have to have access to each of the deals, and then this I'm passing it. Well, see, if I have access to the room list, then update lines. I shouldn't need to pass in the room. I can just pass in the ID. Okay. So, in question Is there an advantage passing a whole room into the um, update lines function, or to simply pass in the ID since I now have access to the room list, and in fact have to actually uh, use that to get the in position. To get the in position. Pass the whole object that can need or just the ID conundrum. Classic game dev crossroads. I don't know about this the personality thing. I wish these didn't have personalities unless you explicitly ask for them. You know, update lines, room ID, var room list, less memory passed around, just an ID, tighter coupling to your room list. Update line always uses the current version from room list, not a stale copy. Encapsulated control. You know that update lines will never get a rogue room that's not in your list. More consistent architecture encourages essential data authority, like room list to state or change. One extra lookup per function call. Negligible unless it's inside a megatight loop. Use room directly. Pros, slightly faster in hot code if you're already affecting the room before calling update lines. Um, Easier to unit test or reuse if you ever use update lines outside the context of room list. Fewer dependencies. Update lines doesn't need to know about room list. More risk varies. You could pass a room that isn't in a room list. You could go out of sync if someone modifies the room list after the room is passed in. Pro dev rule of thumb. If update lines is part of your scene logic, it's always going to rely on your internal room list past the ID. But if you're ever going to want to use that function independently for testing or in some external contents and pass in the room object might make sense. Bonus trick, if you go with IDs and you hate writing lookups every time, then just room equals get room ID. Makes it look fancy, keeps it clean, and centralizes your data access logic. Pass the ID if your system is centralized and stable. Pass the object if you're modular and reusable. Let me know if you want to explain what sock puppets or metaphors involving pizza toppings. That'd be funny if this was multimodal and just like give you videos or whatever, you know. Anyways, okay. Hmm. Still thinking. Didn't really give me an idea. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I should go to Grok. Let's go to Grok. almost completely unrelated, but related to the code directly. I just didn't want to open a new conversation. So I'm writing a class that will draw multiple lines on a single node 2D. It's everything's working fine, but I'm curious about a specific PD script thing. So I have to access the list of rooms, which is a dictionary. So I pass it into a reference variable and access that when I need it. Now, instead of updating all the lines on screen whenever one room moves, I only change the line data on the rooms that are affected. The current room and the incoming. That going in. Okay, well, let's leave it. Since I have access to this list within the class, I'm wondering in my update lines function, should I pass the whole room? I look up whole room, or do I just pass the ID that I'm using as a key as an index into the room list? Pass just ID or whole. Whole room directly. Okay, let's see what it says. Because I got confused by ChatGPT, and I know I could just keep on asking to try to explain it again, but likely a game generator, optimizing update lines, generate entry with all room data, or just the room's ID dictionary key to update lines. Exactly, that's exactly right. Setup. Update lines, connecting rooms. Oops. Each room data include at least the position, possibly connection IDs, other properties. Lines are drawn. Okay. Should update lines take a room? And look at the room ID, or take the entire room directly? Trade-offs, how it works. It takes a room ID, uses it to access the room's data via the room list. Okay. Room equals room list room ID. Right. You look up the moved room and it's connected room's data and using their ID for the room pros. Lightweight parameter, passing a string or an int if IDs are numeric is minimal, reducing overhead in function call, especially if update line is called frequently. Or in process or on move events. Okay. So there we go. This actually is giving me a better idea here. The function can access any room's data via the room list, allowing dynamic lookups. Right. Encapsulation keeps room list as a single source of truth, ensuring update lines always use the latest room data, important if rooms are modified elsewhere. Easy extend for batch updates without passing large data structures. Okay. Cons, dictionary lookup overhead, accessing room lists room ID, and roomless connected ID involves dictionary lookups, which are slightly slower, but with hash overhead compared to direct access. This is negligible unless update lines is called thousands of times per frame. And it probably is going to be called thousands of times per frame, but it might be called several times per frame, depending on if you move. Like I judge by if you change position. If you didn't change position, it's not going to call it, but it's going to call it several times, maybe to if room ID is invalid, not in the room list, you need error handling, right? Yeah. I actually have the handling in there already. Depends relies on room list being accessible and up to date, which could cause issues of reference changes unexpectedly unlikely in your setup. Takes a room's dictionary. No. It okay. No, you're right. No. It's not. It's not room dictionary. Okay. Still needs lookups. Heavier parameter. Um, ID is lightweight, right? I'm just passing a room, not the whole list through. So regardless of whatever data type a room is. It has a parameter. The room is a data structure. Fields like position, connection, but you're keeping it agnostic to specific data type. You're optimizing update lines to update only the lines affected by moved room using a reference to the room list dictionary accessible within the class. You're debating whether the room's ID or the entire room, e.g., other data structure. Okay. Yeah. Trade-offs. Return. Room equals roomless, room ID. Pros, cons, lookup overhead, error handling. Dependency on roomless. Okay. Rooms data. Okay, fine. We can call it a dictionary. That's fine. Room. Connected ID, room connections. Yeah, I'd still have to access the right. Still needs room list. Okay, since lines connect to other rooms, you must access the room list for the connected rooms. That's exactly right. To identify the room with the line data past every parameter, room ID. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. And it is a string ID. Yeah, I didn't really consider the fact I'm well. Okay, so yeah, that was my original question to ChatGPT. But since I did have to access the list anyway, within the function, I probably whether I should pass the whole source room or just the ID. ID is probably better as it's consistent. And yep, yeah, right. Okay. Set a room is layout room. We can call it room ID, and I can still access room like I did. So room ID string that. Okay. Now, of course, these are okay. So we want to say var room equals uh, room list, and then room ID. Okay. Door data, and this should work exactly the same, right? This is the problem here, right? Okay, M position equals door to destination equals equals room list uh oh, I see. Wait. Okay, we're actually gonna destination room. Okay, door to destination dot layout doors. Door and door data equals room dot get door data layout room get door data. Let's see here. Get door data returns. It returns an actual door. Okay, so door data is an actual door. Let's see here. Okay. And layout doors. Okay, I get it. You're gonna have to excuse me for a few moments because I gotta use the facilities. So let me pull up a. Be right back. Be right back. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Unexpected. Unexpected. Alrighty. Let's get back to this. Okay. Okay, layout doors. I only need that for color, so I don't need that. Okay, the door destination is your destination room. So let's pull up your destination room. Let's say var room equals room list or destination. Now we'll do it like this. Our guest room colon layout room equals null. That, and we say if room list as your destination, then guest room equals room list. Oh. And I guess we'll let it go to every door. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go we're going to say else continue like so. Else colon continue. Yeah, let's put a semicolon there. I wonder if I can put semicolons on everything that's because it seems to ignore them, I think. If I put semicolons on just about everything, it makes, I don't know, it makes it more like C. I get the argument against making something wholly look like C, right? But yeah, let's do this. And for door, that. Okay. So door.destination, so we're checking, right? So it's not going to get down there. I guess I'll throw this into ChatGPT when I'm done, and then have it check it for me. Okay, so the M position now is destination room dot position. So now, Okay, so okay. We should probably put this at the top. I'm gonna put this at the top here. We're gonna put this up here, like so. And this is going up here. There. That way, we don't waste our time. Make sure the destination room is there. Else skip over it. Set up door data, or set up line data. Set up line data. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and copy the function over to ChatGPT. Actually, let's do something else here too. Let's add line data to line collection here. So then let's just go ahead and check my time and see I only have 9 minutes left. And go ahead and copy. Okay, so this is Brock. Let's go over here. Okay, here's what I got so far. We're not done yet, of course, but here's the function as it stands now. Showing the current version, it's looking solid to logic since you're still working on their free cleanup and improvement suggestions for both style and efficiency. You're doing it the smart way by passing the room ID. Why centralization? You always reference the main room list for the latest data. You later override or simulate room list contents. Read and testing about modifying the function. Consistency keeps update lines loosely coupled with the caller. Doesn't care what the caller knows about the room, just the ID. So yep, stick with the room ID. Code style suggestions. Semicolons, optional in GDScript. You can keep them for your own visual structure. Braces as comments. Love the idea. Very readable. Line organization could be tightened up just a bit for flow and consistency. Just clear formatting. Not room. Door data. Okay. Let me look at the. Let me see if I can see the difference here. do this temporarily while I do this. This is a chat GPT. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. It moved like up, way up or whatever. Let's see. Options. Inline. What the heck did it jump all the way up like that for? Stupid piece of stupid. Come on. Where's it at? Right here. Clean up. Same logic. Well, it's not. It's okay. I get it. So it shortened that up. It removed that comment. In fact, it's removing the comments for some weird reason. Um, why did it do that? Where is? How come I can't grab the stupid? Oh, is that the? How come it's trying to grab? How come it's not grabbing the stupid slider? Weird. Why did it do that? All right, whatever. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's just. I'm just gonna shove this over onto the other screen a little bit. Just give me a quick second here. Okay. Variador data. Less than one. Okay, so here's the deal, right? It does its compact thing. And honestly, I haven't put semicolons on everything. Like I want to start doing that. I want to be consistent. Yeah, I know it makes it like C like, and I shouldn't be trying to transform GD script or Python or whatever into C, but at the same time, I feel more comfortable looking at it and stuff. It makes more sense to me when I look at it. So the only cleanup is doing is it's removing a lot of my comments. If not, okay. Okay, so there. Okay, so here's one thing that it did that is makes sense here. Okay, so um, right. Uh, okay, if not, and I'm still going to do this. Not room list that has your destination. Then continue. So, and I'm going to put my semicolon here. It should be fine. Okay, desk room equals layout room. Colon layout room equals room list, right? Delete. Search. Layout room equals room list door destination. Test room. Okay. Now, that did actually clean it up, right? Okay. Set up line data. Door call, start position. Destination room position. Okay, and then line collection. I see. So I can actually go ahead and add those in there since they are dictionaries. So for each entry in there, that's just to it. That's not the inbounds. That's not handling the inbounds. In fact, inbounds are probably going to be in their own separate like loop and stuff, I think. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So I can just I wonder if it will let me do this. Okay. I'm gonna see if it'll let me do it this ways. Color, colon, purple, comma, start, colon, start, pause, comma, end, colon, end, pause. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so I can't do that. I can't put it on a separate line. I have to do it like this in order to do it. I still, okay, for this, it's really simple. It's really easy to read. But if you're doing anything longer than that, it's still annoying to have to do. This is what I call uh, gun indentation, gun format. Um, that is where you have like the opening curly braces or opening parenthesis or whatever at the end of the first line, and then in other words, it looks sort of like a gun, like it's pointing. Like this is shooting a gun. This is the trigger area, and this is like the handle, right? I like it better when this is actually on its own line because it makes sense to me visually. Okay, so that actually that's kind of works. Okay. Uh, uh, mm, okay, so this is that. Okay, we can do that, and it's about time for me to quit, anyways, isn't it? Ain't it? Ain't it? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, optional defensive coding. If you expect month form layout doors, you could wrap this. Door color equals room layout doors, door destination dot color. And check. If room dot layout doors dot has door destination, make sure your data is clean. I guess I could do that. I mean, that's not Control C. Door color. If roomless, wait, oh, maybe I could choose to. Hmm, I could make it gray. Okay, so let's room. Outlayer doors that has door destination. Bar door pull equals color. Wait. What about gray? Uh, dark gray. Dark color equals dark gray. Then dark color equals this. That way, at least it'll still have that color. Uh, or it'll have dark gray if it doesn't have it in there. If it should have it in there, but if it doesn't, then at least IA will know that it doesn't, and I'll have to figure out why. Okay. Okay, time up is up for me today. So now I've got everything set for the destination rooms. Next, I'll need to tackle the inbound rooms and modify their end positions to update to the room's current position, but that will be done tomorrow, possibly. Okay, looks like good. And then what I'll do is, for testing, I'll just do one room. I'll pass. I'll call it knit lines, and I'll make a dictionary with a single room, or maybe three rooms. Oh, it'll be like three rooms with single door connections, and that way, we can see how it works. In fact, we can see how it works on the outgoing lines too, because if the outgoing lines doesn't go to anything, like I don't have a destination for a fourth one, then what it should do is it shouldn't draw any line, I should say. I don't care if it draws lines on the top, and I don't care if it draws it in the upper left corner. I'll have it draw in the middle, and eventually the rooms themselves will be drawn over the top. And then yeah, we'll see how that works. Yeah, and then maybe we'll draw some sort of little arrow marker uh, at various positions. For instance, the start position, which would be anywhere along, like it'll be anywhere along the line that intersects with the bottom, or intersects with the side essentially of the room box, and we'll do the same thing with the two the one it's going to. Should be pretty cool. Um, like I'll get the lines and stuff the way that works. I'll get them all like working like they're supposed to as far as that goes, and then I will then I'll start doing the thing where I transfer it to the actual tool, the actual scene. That way, I'll still have access to using it in the editor. So eventually, here not too long from now, I'll be transferring it to the layout tool, and then we'll be using the layout tool version as the main version. So that'd be kind of cool. In fact, I might even make a copy. I might make a complete copy. Um, uh, uh, I guess maybe I'll add it as a separate project to get the GitHub to GitHub. Anyways, or maybe no, maybe the layout tool version is just going to be the main version that I work on. Maybe I just stop working on the other version. Make sure all the files are synced, are up to date. That is that they and yeah, we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. You five, we got five in here. That's pretty cool. Thanks, all you five. I'm assuming that's both Rumble and YouTube. I don't know individually. Three watching in YouTube apparently, and one watching in Rumble. Okay, that's cool. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I guess okay. So there's an appointment tomorrow, and it's going to be a certain time. I'll possibly be able to. I'll possibly be able to do the full stream or the full both streams, but they might be at a slightly different time. They might be earlier because I think, let's see, I think we'll have to leave at like 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, that'd be nine to that'd be 9 to 1 o'clock. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll switch it for a like a 3 hour. I'll make it a 3 hour maybe, so that way there'll be like less interruption. Anyways, yeah. So I want to thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Friday is a little iffy. Friday might be weird time thing, or I might not stream at all on Friday. Anyways, so yeah, uh, so I guess I'll see you later. Thank you for watching.